I'm like an energizer buddy. Like I can do.
Fear is
18,
self-imposed,
22
meaning it
hours
doesn't
a day.
exist. You
I'm
create
here
it, you
because I want
destroy
it,
it too.
I'm
It's
here
an intangible. If you
because I enjoy it. I enjoy the pain. I enjoy the challenge.
Once you face it,
I enjoy pushing myself and finding more out about
just
myself.
face it. My God.
Initially, the Iron Cowboy literally was, I wore a cowboy hat during the marathon or run portion of my races so my kids could see me coming, right? And then the beard evolved. And if you take a real close look at my logo, it's the beard and the cowboy hat. But day 30, we'll fast forward all the way to day 30 of the 50, when massive struggle, massively trying to figure things out, incredible amounts of trauma. Day 30, I'm in Connecticut. And I'm 80 miles into the bike ride, and I literally pull off to the side of the road, I chuck my bike, and I curl into a ball and I start crying. And I had to start focusing on all the reasons and whys I was out there. And by themselves, one reason was not enough for me to get back on my bike and do 20 more Ironmans. But as I started going through the list of everything that I was doing and why I was doing it, it's interesting because I would gather them all together and I'd focus on this big ball, and I would bring it in close to me. And as soon as I focused on that, I started to experience a rebirth. And everything that I was trying to accomplish and why I was there. And I call this process, now looking back on it, both a rebirth and putting on my uniform, which was the alter ego. And my uniform was those yellow sunglasses you've seen me wear in some of my pictures. And when I put those glasses on, that's when the Iron Cowboy comes out. And that dude is a bad, bad man. And there's nothing that's gonna get in his way. And I want to encourage people to find whatever their uniform is, find whatever their alter ego is. Because when you discover that and how to flip that switch, that's when nothing gets in your way. And that's where you shift your focus and you realize what your purpose is. And I knew if I had the courage to get back on my bike and finish that day and then do the 20 more, my life would be different.
That you're thinking that while you're there on the ground.
And this whole process was about 8 minutes. The whole thing from complete meltdown to breaking all of the purposes and whys down to the realization, the rebirth, and getting back on and going. And it can happen that quick. We're moments away every day from a decision that's going to completely change our life. Every single moment of every single day has a massive impact on where you ultimately end up. And so that was a huge turning point, but it was all the decisions before and after that led to that moment. If the journey you're on is big enough, and it's going to have enough impact and change your life and other people's lives, one reason's not going to be big enough. And you need to put a lot of thought and a lot of preparation and a lot of meditation into all of the reasons why. Because at some point in time, you're going to need to gather all those little bad boys up and intently focus on it to have enough courage to get back up and do 20 more Ironmans after everything that we went through. One thing I'm really big on is if you say you're going to do something, you do it. And that's just the example I try to set. Now, and I also believe that kids are a product of our environments. And if you want your kids to be excellent, you have to be excellent yourself. And so that was one of the things when I'm laying there on the side of the road at 30 with 20 Ironmans to go, I said, man, I told my kids I would do this. And what type of example would I be setting if 30 would have been okay? Now, it would have been world setting.
I know, it's so extraordinary.
It would have been world setting, but I would have been the guy that said he was going to do 50 that did 30, and it would have been considered a failure. And so it was really, really important to me to do what I said I was going to do at whatever it took to do that. Motion creates emotion. The hardest thing to do is start moving. engaging. Once you start to move and engage, you realize two things. One, it's not as scary as you thought it was. And two, you actually start enjoying what you're doing. The only thing that was scaring you was the first action. Dude, I'm just like every ordinary dude that's out there. I just have learned to put myself in the game. I've learned to show up every single day. The moment you realize the next step isn't going to kill you, and that next step is the first step to evolving, changing, growing, and learning, and becoming literally the best version of yourself, that's the most beautiful thing. It's not going to kill you. And putting yourself in the game, you're giving yourself an opportunity to achieve something that everybody else said was impossible.
The winners always show up. They're willing to lose in order to gain. Big mental thing there, guys. This body, as great as you are, as sharp as you make the arsenal, it can't do anything if you don't have confidence in yourself. We all fall down in life. The question is, who gets back up? You go after it and you give it all you have. If you lose, at least you tried, man. I failed. It's 10 times more of a man than someone said, what if? Because what if never went to the arena.
Pain is temporary. It may last for a minute, or an hour, or a day, or even a year. But eventually, it will subside, and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it will last forever.
The young must know it, the old must know it, because the greatness comes not when things go always good for you, but the greatness comes and you're really tested when you take some knocks, some disappointments, when sadness comes. Because only if you've been in the deepest valley can you ever know how magnificent it is to be on the highest mountain. Always give your best. Never get discouraged. Never be petty. Always remember, others may hate you. But those who hate you don't win unless you hate them. And then you destroy yourself.